Hey guys, it's Shae, and I hope you're having a great day. So, I'm sorry that I didn't put up my video yesterday. I just wasn't feeling it, I don't know, just didn't feel like making a video yesterday. But I do want to, make sure to actually put videos up on Monday and Friday, so you won't have to worry about that in the future. But anyway, yes, what I'm drinking is a chocolate chip mocha frappe from Sonic, and it's wonderful. And if you haven't had it yet, you need to pause this video, go run to Sonic, grab it, come back, press play, and enjoy. I'll wait. I wanted to apologize, for not putting the video up. I just want to be mindful of that, because if I say I'm going to do something, then I should do it. And, I want to, that's just a way of me building rapport with you, and you know that I will always have my videos up on time, and that's just kind of like my promise to you. And then the other thing is, I've been wanting one of these for, years, and I'm sure you've seen them if you watch other YouTubers, but I finally got myself a pop socket, and I'm absolutely, in love. So, here's my phone, and basically what this is it goes on your phone, and then it helps you kind of hold it. It's basically for clumsy people who can't, like me, who cannot hold onto their phone because they talk with their hands, and it goes flying, and yeah, well. But anyway, no, it's actually, it was designed not necessarily for clumsy people, but for vloggers mostly who use their phone, or for selfies and things like that. So, but it's really cool. So it just pops down like that. This is the first level, so if you just want to use it like that, you got that. And then this is the second level, where you can actually put your fingers on there. So let's take a look at that. And I got one with a moon on it because, duh, I'm fascinated by wolves, and they didn't have a wolf one, so I had to get the moon. But anyway, so that's it for my announcement, so let's get on to the video, shall we? They're so down to earth, they're so funny, they love their fans, they've had so many different members, and yet they are still able to just keep going, and they make wonderful music, in my opinion. That was one of the biggest things, was that they just poured their heart and soul into every album that they create, and it doesn't matter who the members are. Brendon Urie is actually the only last remaining actual member of Panic! At the Disco. The other, members included Ryan Ross, Spencer Smith, and Brent Wilson, which were the original creators of Panic! At the Disco. They started actually while they were still in high school, which I think is amazing, and it's grown into this big, huge pop culture icon that everybody knows, and that's amazing. And but Ross and Wilson soon departed afterwards, because after the release of, I think it was Pretty Odd. Let me see. Let me just double check. Oh, it was after Vices and Virtues in 2010. Yeah. So, a list of their albums would be, the very first album they put out was in 2005, and it was called A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, which is the one that everybody pretty much knows, with its hit single, I Write Sins Not Tragedies, which is pretty much the song that everybody knows Panic! At the Disco for. And then they soon after that, in 2008, came out with Pretty Odd, which it's pretty.odd, so that's why I tried to put a space in between there. Inspired by Baroque pop, which is a fusion genre that combines rock and classical, and the works of both the Beatles and the Beach Boys, the psychedelic-styled rock album differs greatly from the techno-infused punk of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. And then shortly after that, in 2010, they released Vices and Virtues. This was when Ross and Walker actually would walk away from the situation, because they didn't like where Panic! At the Disco was going. So Urie and Smith wanted to continue with, this certain type of kind of outlook on the band, and Ross and Walker didn't care for that. So they ended up ultimately walking away, as did Brent Wilson as well. So, let's see here. Really, they pour their heart and soul into everything that they create. From every interview that I've watched, they're just so passionate. It doesn't matter who's a part of this band, whoever has been brought in or whatever, that's just how they are. That's just how they function, because, they're true artists. And I'm not saying other bands aren't, but they are true in the sense of they actually care about what they're making, and they want to take care of their fans, and they don't want to disappoint them, which I think is really great. And there's you know, not very many bands out there, in my opinion, that do that actually care about their fans. There used to be, but most people now are just about the fame and the fortune and all of that, and then they don't really care about, you know, where they came from. Let's see here. After the departure of Ross and Walker, they put the exclamation point back into the name. So at one point, Panic at the Disco did not have an exclamation point after the word panic, but Urie and Smith wanted that back into it. Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die came out between 2012 and 2015. Smith left in 2015 due to alcoholism and prescription drug abuse, and Urie was Brendon Urie, the lead singer, was very understanding. You know, they were trying to go on tour, and he's like, dude, I can't do it anymore, you know, it's stressing me out too much, and I got to take some time off to get my shit together. And he was like, alright, you know, I got you, like, that's cool, go do what you got to do. And then finally, from 2015 to all the way up to now, 2017, they've been, you know, doing Death of a Bachelor. They've been on tour. Right now, Brendon Urie has kind of taken some time off from being, like, on tour with Panic at the Disco, because he's actually working on Cyndi Lauper's Broadway production called Kinky Boots in New York. And so he's been doing that, so they've kind of taken some time off, but they are talking about coming back. I think it's in September, and then they'll start, you know, finishing out the tour for the year, which is something I'm very excited about, because I definitely want to go this year. I haven't been able to in the past because I haven't been able to afford it. Hopefully this year I will be able to. It's kind of going to be my birthday present to myself. I actually turned 20 years old in June of this year, and I'm really hoping to kind of give that to myself as like a birthday present. So hopefully that all works out. I'm scouring the internet for ticket information right now, but there hasn't been too much that has been released yet, or at least that I know about. Like, I've tried to look for 2017 dates, and I've only found all the way up until like May, and now he's going to be doing like the Kinky Boots thing all the way up until September, or the end of August, somewhere in there. So, but yeah, I've loved Panic at the Disco for a long time now, like a long time. I remember being a kid, and on my little MP3 player and my iPod, I had, you know, a couple Panic at the Disco songs, along with like a bunch of other songs. And I didn't really get into them until I like moved out, and I started to like, I've listened to every single song, like, well, pretty much every single song. I won't say every single, but pretty much every song that they've put out multiple times. And I think I can honestly say that they are a band that I think everyone should listen to. Now, you might not necessarily like everything that they're talking about, but they're one of those bands that they don't beat around the bush. They come right out, they say it, they are who they are, and it is what it is. And, you know, that's been Brendon Urie's biggest thing, is he doesn't want to make like bubblegum pop crap, which is what we have enough of. He wants to make something with substance, and since he's the only sole remaining member of the first original four, you know, he wants to like take care of that name and like build it up and all this stuff. And I'm actually going to include a link to an interview that he did with, let me see, I don't want to say the name wrong, xoxo and the gang. So he did an interview with them, so I'll put a link down there. It's actually really good, and you know, you can see exactly like where he's coming from, and he just doesn't pull any punches. You know, he's not there to be famous. He's there to love his fans. He's there to make good music. He's there to use his talent. Brendon Urie actually has a 4-octave tenor vocal range, which means that he can hit certain notes that other people can't. And instead of, you know, using his talent to make like crap and just get famous really quick, he's poured himself into this thing, still being the only surviving member of this band, and was like, you know what, no matter what happens, I'm going to stick with this and I'm going to make it great. And he has a playlist down in the description if you want to go check him out, which I would highly recommend you do, because this band is like amazing in my opinion. Like, it just is. And it's gotten me through a lot of tough times. It's got me through a lot of really great times. I love turning on Panic at the Disco to dance around. I love listening to them if I feel upset or if I feel, you know, emotional. Some of my favorite songs, you know, I wrote them down here. Let's see. So there's the Ballad of Mona Lisa, This Is Gospel, Nicotine, Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time, which is the one I just read to you, Death of a Bachelor, 9 in the Afternoon, New Perspective. Like, they have so many good songs, and I just encourage you to go check them out. Probably my favorite song to date right now by Panic at the Disco, which is Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time, which is basically kind of where my head's at right now. I wanna go out and try things and be a part of stuff and experience stuff. So, you know, don't threaten me with a good time. Like, if you want to go out and do something, let's do it. You know, I want to grab the world by the you-know-what and just do it. And you should too. I mean, like, especially looking at this band, like, I had no idea. Like, I didn't know all the information I know now, and, like, even the information I've shared with you guys. You know, I didn't even know all this about my favorite band. I just knew that I liked their music. They seemed like pretty cool people. You know, I watched a couple interviews, and, you know, that was it. But actually delving into their story and seeing how, like, amazing and how triumphant they've been through, like, this whole process of losing people and gaining new people and, you know, going and touring places, and wow, I really just cannot think right now. But anyway, so the one on Friday will be about this really amazing kid named Andy Signs, and I don't want to give too much away on this episode because I'd really like you guys to check in on Friday, but he is awesome. He does covers of bands and kind of puts a little bit of a unique twist on them. So I hope you guys check back Friday to see what kind of unique twist he puts on these covers. But anyway, and speaking of covers, one more quick little fact about Panic at the Disco. They originated as a Blink-182 cover band, which I think is awesome because I very much respect Blink-182 as well. But anyway, so that's all for this episode, guys. So just keep learning, expand your mind, be safe, do not be afraid, and do no harm. And I love you guys so much and can't wait to see you on Friday. Alright, bye. Hope you have a great week. Mwah!